What's good with the fight fans? It's your boy Kijana, back with some fight predictions this week. UFC Fight Night 166, Blaydes versus Dos Santos. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty good card, honestly. I wasn't really, I don't know. I was excited about last weekend's card, but at the same time, I wasn't that excited with the fights that happened, that played out. They weren't very entertaining to me. But yeah, enough about that. I'm gonna go straight into the prelims. I'm getting these out super late this week. I've had a busy schedule. Like I said before, I try to get them out by like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. I wasn't even gonna do this week's card just because it's already Friday, but I was like, fuck it. I already had my notes. I just haven't had time to do the video. But yeah, prelims. Herbert Burns versus Nate Landwehr. This is a classic grappler versus striker matchup. Herbert Burns is Gilbert Burns' younger brother. He has a 9-2 record. He's 31 years old. He's right at his prime. 7 sub wins, 2 decision wins, and 2 decision losses. He's never been finished, dude. He only has 2 decision losses. He's won by rear naked choke 4 times, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, he's won by triangle armbar 3 times. He's a 5'9" featherweight, so that's pretty tall for that division. He's rangy, he's got long limbs. He's got a completely different body type than his brother. His brother's more like stocky, kind of husky frame. He has a BJJ background, of course. Good footwork on his feet. He's really light on his feet. He has a nice bounce and good rhythm when he's standing up. Yeah, he has very dominant and strategic top control. Good double legs. He's relentless with his submissions. If he gets you to the ground, he's going to keep trying different submissions on you until he gets one. But he's very hittable. He keeps his chin in the air. That's the main thing that I've seen in some of his fights. He does keep his chin very high. He keeps his hands up too, but he keeps his chin very high, and he's already kind of a tall guy, so it's really easy to get hit when your chin's in the air like that. And if you get hit on that button, man, you're going straight to sleep. So he's fighting a striker, Nate Landwehr, aka The Train. 13-2 record, 8 KO/TKOs, 5 decisions, 1 sub loss, 1 decision loss. He's on a 7-fight win streak, which is pretty impressive. Lost his last fight. His last loss was by rear naked choke to Mark Cherico. This dude's very explosive. He's a vicious striker. He's a pressure fighter. Very wiry and has lots of energy. You can tell by his walkouts, his interviews. He's just dude, he's got a lot of fucking energy, bro. Throws a lot of looping punches. He can take a punch though, and he packs a punch. So he has iffy submission defense, I would say, just because he does have a rear naked choke loss, and he's fighting an opponent that has he's got 4 rear naked choke wins. So that's already a red flag for me. I'm gonna roll with Herbert Burns. I think he can get the job done on this one. Striker versus grappler. That should be an entertaining prelim, and to start the card off. Next fight, Brett Johns versus Tony Gravely. The Pikey. Brett Johns, 27 years old, 15-2 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins, 2 decision losses. He's on a 2-fight losing streak to Aljamain Sterling and Pedro Munoz, but to be honest, like, this guy kind of got just thrown into the fire, man. Brett Johns has been fighting pretty much the cream of the crop in that division. And those 2 losses aren't bad to have, because we know Pedro Munoz is a fucking beast, and Aljamain Sterling, we see where that guy's going. He could end up being a champion in the future. You never know. Both those guys are great fighters. This guy, Brett Johns, has brutal top control. Always looks for the finish. Elbows, punches, chokes, etc. It really doesn't matter for him. He's a very well-rounded fighter. Versatile fighter. Nice combos. And he has a really good right cross. That calf slicer that he did versus Joe Soto was fucking nasty, man. That was, oh man, a calf slicer that just looks so painful. I've never been put in one. I've been put in arm bars before, Kimuras, guillotines, shit like that. But yeah, man, that calf slicer, that shit looked like it fucking hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I would have tapped instantly off that shit. It's gonna fuck your leg up. But yeah, he's fighting this dude, Tony Gravely, 19-5 record, 8 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 4 sub losses, 1 decision loss. He's making his UFC debut, so it should be interesting. He's on a 7-fight win streak. All finishes, very tough and gritty fighter. This guy packs a punch too. He has a lethal right hand. There's not really much else to say about that guy. I'm gonna be rolling with man, that's actually a tough one to pick, because from the highlights that I've seen, Tony Gravely looked like he could be a pretty decent fighter, and he has a lot of fight experience already. I put a question mark by that one because I feel like it could go either way. A lot of fights could go either way, but this one really seems like it's going to be a close call. But I'm going to roll with Brett Johns just for the simple fact that he is on a 2-fight losing streak, and he needs to get this win. He definitely needs to get this win to get his name back in the talk. Next fight, Sara McMann versus Lina Landsberg, Elbow Queen. Sara McMann, 11-5 record, 1 KO/TKO. Win, 5 sub wins, 1 TKO loss, 3 sub losses. She's on a 2-fight submission losing streak to Marion Reneau and Caitlin Vieira. She's 39 years old, man. She's well past her prime. She has decent wrestling, good double legs. Took a lot of time off when she had her when she was pregnant and had her baby. She's a powerful striker. She throws combos and flurries. But I feel like Sara McMann's kind of done. And if she's not done, if she continues fighting, I don't feel like it's going to be the best thing for her. I feel like it's probably, yeah, she's kind of like a gatekeeper a little bit. She's never really progressed past a certain point. That's what I've noticed, at least since she's been in the UFC. She's fighting Lina Landsberg, Elbow Queen, 10-4 record, 4 KO/TKO, 6 decision wins, 3 KO/TKO losses, 1 decision loss. She's on a 2-fight win streak against Chiesa, which was very impressive, and Tanya Evinger. That performance was just, it was a masterpiece, honestly, because I did not expect her to beat Chiesa. I thought Macy was going to probably submit her or just grind her out, but like Macy's so used to finishing her opponents so quickly that she gassed herself out. After just round 1. She's lost to some big names like Yana Kunitsukaya, Aspen Ladd, Chris Cyborg, but those aren't bad losses to have. All of those people are in the win columns and all great fighters. She throws good combos, vicious elbows. That's why they call her the Elbow Queen when she's on the top or in the clinch. She's 37 years old, so she's past her prime too as well. This is going to be an interesting fight. This also could go either way. She's been looking like a more polished fighter though, man, with her last 2 fights, especially that Chiesa one. Like she just looks like a totally different fighter to me. I feel like she's actually progressing a little bit, and her cardio is pretty decent as well. But I'm gonna roll with Sara McMann to get the job done. She definitely needs this win if she wants to stick around in the UFC. So I'm gonna roll with Sara McMann. Next fight, Montel Quick Jackson, 8-1 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 1 sub win, 1 decision loss. Never been finished. His only loss was to Ricky Simone. This guy's super fucking explosive, powerful counter striker. Switches his stances a lot in his fights. He's a ruthless finisher. He has a Muay Thai background as well, and he's a southpaw. Vicious elbows and knees. This guy's rangy. He's kind of tall. He's got long limbs. But he throws with bad fucking intentions, dude. If he catches you with one of his elbows, one of his knees, anything, if he catches you with anything, you're probably gonna go to sleep because this dude hits hard, man. And he's a pretty accurate striker. Always looks for the finish. He's coming off of a win over Andre Sukumthoth. That's not really that an impressive win to me. Andre Sukumthoth's a hit or miss fighter. Montel Jackson, he's gonna be on the rise. This guy definitely has some potential to be in the top 10 of that weight class. And he's fighting Felipe Diaz-Colores, 9-1 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins, 1 decision loss. Never been finished as well. A very slick submission game. Won by guillotine 3 times. Arm triangles, rear naked chokes. I mean, this guy has it all on the ground, really. But his striking is so-so. His striking just gets him to the point to where he can take you down, basically. But Montel Cook Jackson, he has a really good wrestling defense. So I feel like it's gonna be kind of a struggle for Felipe to get him to the ground. And I'm gonna roll. This is another striker versus grappler matchup. So I mean, I'm gonna roll with Montel Jackson on this one. I feel like he could put him away early. So I'll pick him. Next fight, Justine Quiche versus Lucy Pudilova. Justine Quiche, 6-2 record, 2 sub wins, 4 decision wins, 2 decision losses. She's a gritty, tough fighter. 3-2 record in the UFC. She's on a 2-fight losing streak. She's definitely got to be hungry right now. She has no head movement whatsoever from any of the fights that I've watched her in. Super flat-footed, but she always pressures her opponents, and she definitely can take a fucking punch. So I don't really like picking fighters that can take a punch. I'd rather pick a fighter that has good movement and doesn't take too much punishment. But yeah, man, she can definitely take a punch. She's got really good right body kicks, decent jab and right cross. Not really else much that I've seen from her footage. So yeah, she's fighting Lucy Padalova, 8-5 record, 2 KO/TKO wins, 2 sub wins, 1 sub loss, 4 decision losses. She's on a 3-fight losing streak. That does not look good. If she keeps losing, meaning maybe even in this next fight, if she loses this next fight, she might not be in the UFC anymore. She got outclassed by Antonina Shevchenko in last fight, and I picked her against Shevchenko on that one. High volume pressure fighter. Does have sub wins by armbar and guillotine choke. Padalova seems like she's still she seems stagnant. She seems like she hasn't really progressed that much. Each one of her fights is kind of the same thing. But I am going to pick her in this one. It's 2-fight losing streak versus 3-fight losing streak. I'm going to pick Padalova on this one. Justine Quist is definitely a tough fighter, but I feel like Padalova could swarm her with her volume. So I'm going to roll with Padalova on this one. Next fight, Nick Lentz versus Arnold Allen. Nick Lentz, man, 35 years old, the Carney, 30-10 record. Man, this guy's a straight veteran. 11 KO/TKOs, 8 subs, 3 KO losses, 2 sub losses. Yeah, man, this he's been around for a minute, man. But his last knockout loss to Charles Oliveira it was fucking vicious, dude. I feel like Nick Lentz only has a few more fights left in him. If that, I feel like he should honestly probably just retire. But yeah, I'm definitely picking Arnold Allen in this one. I'm gonna pick Almighty. He's 15-1 record. He's new. I gotta roll with him. He's a Capricorn like me. Birthday was January 17th. 5 KO/TKO wins, 4 subs, 1 decision loss. This dude's super well-rounded. He hits hard. He has good takedowns, good top control. Fuck, dude. Slick submission game, good cardio. Like, he really has the full package. Arnold Allen can definitely he could be a key factor in that division, honestly. I feel like there's a few small things that he could work on. Like, when he's in the fights, he doesn't tend to, really, let everything just go. I feel like he just waits on a lot of stuff, and he goes to decision a lot as well. So I would like to see Arnold Allen just put it all on the line in some of his fights and really try to get the finish. But I mean, maybe he is trying to get the finish in these opponents. I mean, this is the UFC, and these opponents are just that good. But yeah, I'm rolling with Arnold Allen. Next fight, Bevon Lewis versus Daquan Townsend, the extraordinary gentleman. That's Bevon Lewis's nickname. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all, actually. 6-2 record, 3 KO/TKOs, 1 KO/TKO loss, 1 decision loss. Lost last 2 fights by Darren Stewart and Uriah Hall. The Uriah Hall one, he was beating him. He was pressuring the shit out of Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall just caught him with something. So yeah, very new to the UFC still. Decent stand-up. There's not really much else to say about Bevon Lewis. He actually has a pretty decent. He has decent double legs as well. He does tend to gas out a little bit by the 3rd round, but fuck, dude, anybody that's throwing a lot of strikes, pressuring their opponent, they're gonna gas out. So I'm not gonna say he doesn't have good cardio. And he's fighting Daquan Townsend, 21-9 record, 12 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. Lost last fight by TKO to Dalcha Lungimbala. That's the short little buff African dude. In round 3. This dude's a long rangy fighter. He's 6'3", he hits hard, nice leg kicks. But you don't really see much of him in the UFC. Yeah, he's just kind of, he was on a suspension for, I think, a drug abuse or some shit. He was like, he popped for cocaine or something in his system. I don't know too much about this guy, honestly, and I honestly don't know too much about Bevon Lewis, so this is kind of like, this is a pick'ems fight for me. If you guys know more about these two dudes, drop a comment, let me know. But I am going to roll with Daquan on this one. I feel like Bevon Lewis is, I don't know. He's good. Something's telling me Daquan might win this one. All right, we're on to the main card. We're flying through these right now. Jamal Hill, a.k.a. Sweet Dreams, versus Darko Stojic. Sweet Dreams, 6-0 record, 3 KO/TKO wins, 3 decision wins. He's a southpaw with a lethal left hand. His left cross is money all day. His left cross is very fucking accurate, man. If you watch some of his older fights, he's very new to the game, so there's not that many fights to watch of him. But yeah, dude, this guy's he's a pretty accurate striker. He's very good use of his range, nice knees in the clinch. Vicious elbows on the ground, dude. When he gets you on the ground, he's looking to split your whole fucking head open. And I like fighters like that. I like fighters that go in to get the finish. I don't like fighters that fucking play patty cake in the ring, dude. People are paying their hard-earned money to watch motherfuckers get their head split open. That's what we want to see. Honestly, I mean, that's what we want to see. I don't want to see nobody die in there, but I want to see someone get their shit split open to the white meat. And that's all I have to say about that one. I mean, this dude Jamal Hill, he's got good takedown defense. Yeah, he keeps his hands low at times. That's pretty much about it. I didn't watch too much tape on him. I only watched a few fights that he had in the past. But he looks legit, dude. Darko Stojic, 13-3 record, 8 KO/TKOs, 1 sub win, 1 KO loss. It's on a 2-fight losing streak, both by decision. This guy's a decent striker. He hits hard, but he does gas out at times. I think it's just because he's a very muscular, stocky fighter, and he's fighting a long-rangey fighter. So this is another interesting one, man. I'm gonna roll with Jamal Hill on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Jamal Hill on this one. Next fight, Angela Hill versus Hannah Cyphers. Angela Overkill Hill, 10-7 record. 4 KO/TKO wins, 2 sub losses, beat Ariana Carnelosi in the last fight. She's a very hit or miss fighter. I said it in past videos. You really don't know. You don't really know if Angela Hill doesn't show up, then she's most likely gonna lose. But you don't know if she's gonna show up like in a really good mood and have a great fighter, and you don't know if she's gonna show up in a shitty mood and just not perform at all. She has good cardio. She's got a nice bounce when she's standing up. Very light on her feet, uses her range pretty good. She's not a power striker, she's not a power horse. She kind of just circles around the ring and picks you apart with leg kicks, push kicks, and punches, dude. She kind of blitzes in and comes back out. And she's fighting Hannah Cyphers, aka Shockwave, 10-3 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 1 KO/TKO loss, 1 sub loss. She's on a 2-fight win streak. She hits hard. She's a very muscular fighter. But the thing that I don't like about Hannah Cyphers is she's very timid sometimes inside the ring and outside of the ring. I don't mind so much outside of the ring. It's whatever outside the ring. But when you're in the ring, don't be too timid. Let those hands go. Because you're there for a reason. You made it that far, so you can't be a shitty fighter if you're I mean, you can there's some shitty fighters in the UFC, but dude, you made it that far. Let those fucking hands go. Her coaches need to fucking get her out of that little box that she's in, her little shell. And she needs to throw more with her. She needs to throw more kicks. She doesn't really throw enough kicks. She relies a lot on her boxing, and she's not really that well-rounded, I wouldn't say. She doesn't go for takedowns. She kind of just pressures her opponents with her punches, and that's about it. But this is mixed martial arts. This isn't boxing, so we got to see more from Hannah Cyphers. I'm rolling with Angela Hill on this one, but I do like Hannah Cyphers. Next fight, Jordan Espinoza versus Alex Perez. Espinoza, 14-6 record, 2 KO/TKO wins, 7 sub wins, 3 sub losses. Lost last fight to Matt Schnell by triangle choke, which was very impressive performance by Matt Schnell. Espinoza is very new to the UFC still. I don't know too much about the guy. He's got decent striking from some of the tape that I watched. And yeah, he's fighting Alex Perez, man. I'm rolling with Alex Perez. I'm not really gonna get too much into this fight. 22-5 record, 4 KO/TKO wins, 6 subs, 6 sub wins, 1 TKO loss, 3 sub losses. Beat Mark De La Rosa in his last fight. He's a wiry fighter. throws very nice combos, and he's relentless. I love fighters like that are fucking relentless. He's a pressure fighter, dude. He's looking for the kill. I like Alex Perez, man. He was looking for the kill. He did get fucked up by Joseph Benavidez in the past, but that's Joseph Benavidez. We see what he does to people, man. That guy's a great fighter. So that's not a bad KO loss to have, or TKO loss to have on your record. But yeah, I'm rolling with Alex Perez on that one. Next fight, Rafael dos Anjos versus Michael Maverick Chiesa. Dos Anjos 30-12 record, man. 5 KO/TKOs, 10 sub wins, 3 KO/TKO losses. This guy goes to decision a lot. He's a grinder. He's a workhorse. Dos Anjos basically has the whole package. He does gas out at times. Lost his last fight to Leon Edwards. He lost to Colby Covington as well. But the main thing is Dos Anjos has only really lost to big name fighters. And people that can really put the pressure on him. If he can't put the pressure on you, then he's most likely going to lose if you're putting the pressure on him. That's just the way it works for Dos Anjos, I feel like. He's got a pretty slick submission game. Actually, he's got a really good submission game. He's got 10 sub wins. I mean, he's got a lot in his arsenal. Dos Anjos is a veteran, dude. He's very well rounded. But I just feel like he hasn't progressed. He hasn't progressed past a certain point. Dos Anjos has kind of been the same fighter for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. I haven't really seen much change in his game. He's fighting Chiesa, 16-4 record, 11 sub wins, 1 KO/TKO loss, 3 sub losses. Only has lost to big name fighters as well. Chiesa, dude, huge body frame. I feel like if he uses that range, the only thing about Chiesa, he doesn't really have any stand up, so he can't really use the range on the feet. He's going to want to get this to the ground and basically suffocate Dos Anjos on the ground, and get him in an arm bar, get him in a guillotine, get him in some type of submission to where he's uncomfortable until he taps. I feel like Chiesa could get the job done. I'm wrong with Chiesa. I usually never pick Michael Chiesa because I'm not really a fan of him. But like I said, if you want to win money, you can't just pick people that you're a fan of. You got to pick the better fighter. I feel like Dos Anjos is way more well-rounded than Chiesa. So this is crazy for me to roll with Michael Maverick. But I'm gonna pick him. I feel like the body type and just the overall his body frame is way bigger than Dos Anjos, and we're gonna see that when they hydrate back up and on fight day tomorrow. We're gonna definitely see how much bigger Chiesa is against Dos Anjos. The only thing I'm worried about is Dos Anjos actually getting a submission on Chiesa, because we've seen Chiesa try to go for submissions and he gets submitted himself. So I mean, he has 3 sub losses. One of those was to Kevin Lee, and that was a very quick performance and a great performance by Kevin Lee. But yeah, I could definitely see Dos Anjos winning this one. So fuck, dude. You know what? I'm gonna take my pick back because I have a question mark by this one as well. I'm gonna roll with Dos Anjos. Something's telling me he actually will get the win, and Chiesa's gonna shit on himself. He's not gonna do what he's supposed to do to get the dub in there. Next fight, Curtis Razor Blaydes versus Junior Dos Santos. Curtis Blaydes, 12-2 record. Junior Dos Santos, 21-6 record. This is gonna be a really good fight, man. I'm looking forward to this one. I've been a fan of Curtis Blaydes for a while now. A lot of people say he's a boring fighter. I don't feel like he's a boring fighter at all. I don't feel like he's a boring fighter whatsoever. I feel like he's an exciting fighter. I feel like he just sticks to his game plan, and his game plan always revolves around wrestling. But that's not boring to me. I feel like that's strategic. I feel like he's a very intelligent and smart fighter. And if he sticks to his game plan, he's most likely going to win. Especially with his wrestling credentials and background is ridiculous. This guy can basically slam anybody. I mean, he fucked Mark Hunt up with his wrestling. I think he took him down 8 or 9 times, and they were big slams. And Mark Hunt's not a small guy. This is the heavyweight division. He's walking around 260, 270, like after hydrating back up, maybe even 280. Mark Hunt's a big boy. He was taking him down with ease. He split Alistair Overeem's whole fucking face open with elbows. Like, I don't know how people are saying Curtis Blaydes is a boring fighter, because he's not. He's a strategic fighter. There's a difference between being boring and strategic. Yeah, you can be strategic and boring at the same time. It happens. But Curtis Blaydes, man, I'm rolling with Curtis Blaydes to get the dub on this one. I'm not going to break down Dos Santos too much. I feel like Dos Santos had his time. to shine. And I feel like he can still shine a little bit, but I don't ever feel like Dos Santos will get the belt or even have a run at the belt again. He packs a punch, he hits very hard, but we haven't seen Dos Santos' game plan really change, or his whole type of fighting style change over the years. And that's the reason why I'm going to pick Curtis Blaydes. I feel like the wrestling is going to be too much. I do feel like if Dos Santos clips Curtis with something like Ngannou did, it'll definitely put him away, because he's known to be a little chinny. And I'm not even going to say that I'm not even going to say that he's known to be chinny, actually. I take that back, because this is the heavyweight division, man. These guys hit hard. If you get hit by a heavyweight, you're probably going to sleep. And even if you get hit by a smaller guy, you're probably going to sleep if it's in the right spot, dude. If it's in the right spot, you're going to sleep no matter what. So Curtis Blaydes needs to make sure he keeps his hands up. He needs to make sure that he goes for those takedowns quick. And he needs to make sure that he really wears on Dos Santos and keeps him on the ground, gets him tired, and does what he has to do. Use those fucking elbows. But I'm rolling with Curtis Razor Blaydes on this one, man. Hopefully he makes me some money on Bovada and DraftKings this weekend. All right, I've been rambling on for a little bit while now. Sorry for putting the predictions out so late. Like I said before, I've been swamped, dude. I'm still in my work gear and shit right now. Hopefully everybody enjoys the fights. I'm gonna be doing another giveaway video once I reach 150 subscribers. So if you like the video, like it, subscribe to it. If you know people that like watching prediction videos, have them subscribe to my channel as well. I'd appreciate it. Drop some comments on who you guys are picking. I love to hear people's picks and why they're picking them, because sometimes it makes me change my picks a little bit, especially if people have insight that I don't know. So yeah, everybody enjoy the weekend, enjoy the fights, stay safe. Yeah.